In the mid-16th century, England was a kingdom in turmoil. Religious upheaval, political rivalries, and dynastic struggles had left the throne unstable. Into this storm stepped Mary Tudor, a woman determined to secure her crown and her faith at any cost. History would remember her by a chilling name, Bloody Mary. But behind the nickname lies a story far more complex than the legend. Mary was born in 1516, the only surviving child of King Henry VIII and his first wife, Catherine of Aragon. Her early years were privileged, but her life took a dark turn when her father, desperate for a male heir, broke from the Catholic Church to annul his marriage to Catherine. Henry's decision shattered Mary's world. She was declared illegitimate, stripped of her royal title, and separated from her mother. This early humiliation would shape her fiercely loyal Catholic faith and her deep resentment toward Protestant reforms. When Henry VIII died, Mary's younger half-brother Edward VI took the throne, and England moved rapidly toward Protestantism. Mary, however, refused to renounce her beliefs, defying the new religious order. Upon Edward's death in 1553, Protestant factions attempted to place Lady Jane Grey on the throne. But Mary, rallying supporters from across the country, marched to London in a show of political resolve that stunned her enemies. At 37, she was crowned Queen of England, the first woman to rule the kingdom in her own right. Mary's reign began with high hopes from her Catholic supporters. She sought to restore papal authority and undo her father's religious reforms. In 1554, she married Philip II of Spain, a move that was deeply unpopular among her subjects, who feared England would become a pawn of Spanish interests. But Mary's most controversial legacy came not from her marriage, but from her brutal campaign against Protestantism. Determined to return England to Catholic orthodoxy, Mary reinstated laws against heresy and launched a wave of religious persecution. Over the next 3 years, nearly 300 Protestants, men, women, and even teenagers, were burned at the stake for refusing to renounce their beliefs. The victims included prominent figures like Archbishop Thomas Cranmer, as well as ordinary citizens whose only crime was their faith. Public executions became a grim spectacle, earning Mary her infamous nickname, Bloody Mary. The burnings shocked and horrified much of the nation. The Protestant writer John Foxe immortalized these events in his Book of Martyrs, portraying Mary as a bloodthirsty tyrant. Whether entirely fair or not, this image stuck and has endured for centuries. Yet to understand Mary fully, we must see beyond the nickname. In her mind, she was not a monster, but a savior, a queen protecting her realm from heresy and damnation. She genuinely believed she was defending her people's souls, even if her methods were cruel. Her reign was also marked by reforms in coinage, improvements in the navy, and the strengthening of the administrative system, achievements often overshadowed by the flames of Smithfield. Mary's personal life was marked by tragedy. Desperate for an heir, she experienced 2 false pregnancies, which devastated her emotionally and politically. Her marriage to Philip was strained, with her husband spending much of their marriage abroad. She grew increasingly isolated, unpopular, and ill. In November 1558, Mary died at the age of 42, likely from cancer. With her passing, the throne passed to her half-sister, Elizabeth I, a Protestant whose long reign would overshadow Mary's brief and bloody rule. History has not been kind to Mary Tudor. To Protestants, she became a symbol of religious fanaticism and cruelty. To Catholics, she was a queen who fought valiantly for her faith, but whose reign was doomed by miscalculation and bad fortune. And to the wider world, her name became tangled with folklore, from ghost stories to the childhood Bloody Mary mirror game, obscuring the real woman behind the legend. Mary's story is one of power, conviction, and tragedy. She ruled in an age when a woman's authority was suspect, in a nation torn between 2 religious visions. Her reign burned brightly and brutally, leaving a scar on English history that has never fully faded. Whether she was a villain, a martyr, or simply a product of her time, Bloody Mary remains one of the most infamous monarchs in history, and a reminder of how belief, when fused with power, can both unite and destroy.